On World News tonight, U.S. forces at Baghdad Airport, right on the edge of the city. Baghdad in the dark. The U.S. says it did not turn off the power. The possibility of fighting in the city. We'll take a closer look at a more level playing field. And in the other news today, what the government in Thailand has done about the SARS virus. These people are not taking any chances.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening, everyone. President Bush told Marines at Camp Lejeune today that the vice is closing on the war criminals, he called them, who have ruled Iraq. And tonight, U.S. Marines and soldiers are so close to Baghdad they can see the skyline. Or they could until the city was completely blacked out tonight. In the last 24 hours, there has been no defense in depth by the Iraqis. Take a look at the map to see how quickly the Army and the Marines have closed on Baghdad since yesterday. They've had a tremendous assist from their air-supported artillery, which reporters on the battlefield tell us has eliminated so many Iraqi weapons. Tonight, the first U.S. forces are at Baghdad Airport on the very edge of town, and there is a larger force of Marines and Army right behind them. We go first to ABC's John McWethy, who is at the Pentagon. John, the Iraqis in the last day or so have turned out to be much weaker than many people anticipated.
Weaker, Peter. In fact, they are collapsing on at least two fronts. And now another blow, the loss of that airport, which is named after the Iraqi leader himself, just a short cab ride from downtown Baghdad. This morning, the Iraqi airport director told reporters that Saddam Hussein International was firmly in the hands of the regime. By nightfall, ABC News correspondent Bob Schmidt, who is with U.S. forces, had a very different version.
The United States Army 3rd Infantry Division, led by Charlie Company, 27 Infantry, which I've been traveling with, has entered the airport. It busted through the gates, meeting almost no Iraqi opposition at all. We are now parked in our Bradley fighting vehicle on the tarmac.
U.S. sources say they still expect a fight. Earlier today, intelligence sources indicated there were elements of several Army divisions dug in at or near the airport. One barracks complex was recently heavily bombed. Sources say parts of the 82nd and 101st Airborne Divisions are being committed to fully secure the airport, trying to preserve as much of it as is possible. The U.S. will use it to resupply American troops around Baghdad, and it will be crucial for putting Iraq back on its feet after the war. After 2 days of heavy fighting and stunning movement toward Baghdad, American troops are now there. But the U.S. is clearly not planning to rush into fighting in the streets. The plan is to surround Baghdad and cut it off from the rest of the country.
You have a country that Baghdad no longer controls, that whatever's happening inside Baghdad is almost irrelevant compared to what's going on in the rest of the country. And then you'll start working at it as you can. But one of the things you can do is be patient about that.
The U.S. is now closing in from all directions. Last night, U.S. Special Operations teams attacked a palace 60 miles northwest of Baghdad, sometimes used by Saddam Hussein. They found no Iraqi leader, collected some documents, and left. And other special operations teams are now watching all of the roads approaching Baghdad, especially those from the north, and they are calling in airstrikes, Peter, whenever they see anything that resembles a military convoy.
John, you mentioned the usefulness of the airport. I assume in the Pentagon they think it's a huge psychological impact on the Iraqis to be there as well.
Oh, tremendous impact, Peter. The fact that it is named after the Iraqi leader himself, the fact that it is surrounded by Republican Guard headquarters and by many of Saddam Hussein's palaces, it's a jewel for that regime, and this hurts.
Thanks, John. John McWethy at the Pentagon. Part of this onslaught on the international airport has come from the Army's 3rd Infantry Division. ABC's Ted Koppel, as you know, is traveling with them.